Hello all and welcome to the Let's Play of Voidspire Tactics with me, Rex. Now, I had a little bit of an issues and I would have restarted recording the first day it came out because I've had a lot of free time and while waiting for my recent job interview to go recent job application to go through. I got the job, now I'm just waiting for stuff to process on their end. But in the meanwhile, in the past few days my recording software was giving me trouble, and when I restarted my computer it started working fine. Which is kind of bizarre, but alas, this now works, and I can now show everybody. So, I did playtest this game, so I know what's going on, I know what to do, I know... Yeah, basically, this isn't a blind playthrough, I already know what I'm doing. And, with that being said, I'll try not to spoil much. I'm very good at acting surprised for no reason, or not no reason anyway. This game was made by the Mr. Sean Hayden of Rad Codex, and it's actually quite amazing. It excellent callback to Final Fantasy Tactics, which I believe it's based on, with many other elements tossed in. I will let you guys get your own feel for the game, and here we go. I'll start a new game, even though I already have old saves from the demo. Basically, you start with 4 races. You start with humans, which humans gain more experience, so they level up faster. These cat people, or cat, fox, otter people, the Scurio, they act faster. They get more turns, even though I believe just -2 time to act. I think they'd get an extra turn like every 10 or so. Like, within what other characters would get 10, they might get 11. So it's just 1 extra turn, but that can always be handy. Resmen, they're immune to blindness, and they have better evasion when flanked. These guys make pretty good warriors, and they're also really good as a class we'll see later on. But they don't really have much special going on for them besides that, and they look a little strange. Last but not least, for the moment, we have Farim, who... They take a little bit longer to act, but they naturally have more movement. These guys can be pretty good, especially if you give yourself the, well, you'll see them later. Anyway. The first character is going to be a Scurio, because I like having a fast warrior. Deciding here, I'll go with this one. Change the color to white, because... I don't know, it's the most easily, or light tan, it's the most easily visible. Not because I'm biased, just, it's easy to see. I try to make my characters, at least, different and, very differing when it comes, very differing when it comes to, their clothing style, so it's easier for me to tell them apart. Because sometimes with the sprites being as small as they are, it's a little hard to see. But, alas, first names first, we will have Zeal. Okay, oh, also, clicking on the characters themselves will change their class. Between the first the starter classes. This guy will be a Farim. Let's just give them a... It's a little hard to see the face style here, partly because it's just a little hard to see, so let's make them a bit... There we go. It just changes like a face cloth, slight eyes, somewhat of a different expression each time. It's a little hard to tell, but cloth color. They shall be... Well, we already have like I think what is a white, so let's go with... Actually, I like red. I will go with red for this one. That just adds like a extra thing on their tail there. Farim are Nagas, or Lamias, or whatever you wish to call them. And this one will be Flo. Good friend Flo. I will have at least one of all 4 races, just for diversity. They have what looks like fin things, or their heads just wider. They have a head covering. They have a helmet. And then they have... I thought they had masks. Or does that count as a face? Yeah, actually, hang on. I want to show you guys something. Wrong one. Here we go. You can wear masks, which are just like various faces and whatnot. Kind of cute. Different emoticons. That looks like a jack-o'-lantern. Yeah, and blank. And then their basic face, some regular decals. But if you wear both the helmet and this strange-looking mask, you can cover their head completely, and I like that. Can't really change their skin color, but you can change their, You can change their... I just lost my track of thought. You can change what their, Actually, I'm going to make her up there green. I like this guy red. She will be green. He, she. A little hard to tell with sprites, but not too bad. Dark green? Yes. Dark green. Perfect. This will be Koro. Good friend of mine. And now, for myself, I'll be the last guy. Human, just go with this. Different little facial expressions there. I like that. And where was the one that I had a character whenever I did the playtesting that without intentionally doing so, he ended up being the sole guy carrying me. Well, every one of my characters was grinded to the point where I could where I could fight nearly anything in the game without increasing the difficulty. Or I didn't need to increase the difficulty, but he was the sole guy that was technically the one who carried me through the final fight whenever I attempted it on the hardest difficulty for funsies. And I won with him, so... I'm not going to name myself this guy, that's too easy. He will be Balthazar. Because Balthazar, I don't know why, I just like the name. So, we have Escurio, we have one of each of the 4 starter races. Is this my party? Yes. Now, when you start out, the characters are voiceless, and each one doesn't really have a whole lot of significant importance, so to speak. You still have basic stuff, like, your characters still have, really whoever, also, by the way, you can move things if you click on them, so you could just put it all over the place. You can't set it in a, or actually you can, never mind. Sometimes you won't be able to set stuff beyond what you could normally reach. And even this stuff will influence you in a battle. Like, see if I were to get into a fight here, these bins being in the way would actually impede your movement because you have to jump over them to get at the enemy and whatnot. So it's actually pretty cool. So if you know there's going to be a fight, it can sometimes be beneficial to either pile stuff up in front of the enemy to make sure that they can't reach you easily, or just move it out of the way so you're not impeded. Anyway, you can check stuff. These crates, these barrels. These crates have forks. I haven't found out what forks do, if anything. So, mug, goblet, and some wood debris, which we can't even put in our inventories anyway, so. Oh yes, I forgot. We're supposed to take this lantern here. Woohoo, we have a light. Lanterns are cool. I love lanterns. Oh, let's open the inventory. Yes, double-clicking on a character will open up their inventory, as well as clicking I or Shift. I opens up everybody's, Shift opens up the character who you have selected at the time. More wood debris. Different colored wood debris. Gotta love that debris. Oh, also, one thing I didn't do because we didn't have the menu down here while we were inside the ship. We have the look command. What the look command does is you examine something and it gives you a journal entry for this. There are journal entries for just about everything in the game. Obviously, you can't look at the floor in some places because it's not going to tell you about that. But even something like as simple as the the lateen sail up here, it will tell you about it. These pallets on the ground, it tells you about them. The wood debris, it tells you about it. It also says you can catch it on fire too, which is pretty interesting. The bins, it tells you about it. The crates, it'll tell you about them. Even like this, yeah, it tells you about just about everything. This rope, which I can't reach. And then the ship's wheel here. It'll also say something. See? Spoked wheel used to steer ships. Also contains intricate Volscorn, or Volscarn, I think, wiring to control auxiliary systems. So it's more than a ship. It's like a mix between old-style... I lost my train of thought there, but yes. And a saw could extract it. Wonder why it specifies that. Who knows? We can't do anything about it now. Hey guy, you're in my way. I'm still terrible at voice acting, so unfortunately I will not be reading what they say in any way, shape, or form, but I will go slow enough for everyone to... I will go slow enough for everyone else to be able to easily catch up on that. Everyone's unloaded and waiting customs by now. I'll occasionally read stuff myself, but it's mostly just in mocking the dialogue, because that's just what I do. Yes, you are in my way. Get out of my way. There's nothing in these crates, by the way, but the small ones you can push. Though thankfully, it's not like Zelda, so there are no block puzzles. I remember reading a little comic joke about that, and it's actually quite funny. Unfortunately, I lack... Okay, we should talk to people first, because it is late at night, and I am out of my mind. Alright, what's in these barrels? He just gets mad at us, so we can't take anything. We can take this rope. I didn't think I could do that, but okay. You learn something new every day, and I've played through this game at least like 4 times now, I think. He's just a human. Little descriptory bits here if you need to read through these. I'm pretty sure that you could just pause the video at that time and have a gander yourself. Gander, what's wrong with me? How would you like to be the owner of one of my fine glass bottles? That's right, surely nothing is more useful than a glass bottle. They're just so versatile. Well, unfortunately for you, Mr. Simmons, or Simons, this isn't Zelda. Right, thank you. Curses, I really need to find more than one product to sell. Well, it helps that I didn't have any money either, but yeah, you do. Tree! Yep, you can cut down trees, and you will get wood, wood planks. You could do a surprising amount of stuff with wooden planks. You'd be surprised. Surprising amount of stuff you'd be surprised. I didn't even look at the barrel. Very popular container due to how easy it is to move by rolling. Typically used to contain water or alcohol. And these notes. Notes full of ungrokable jargon, misspellings, incorrect punctuation, and sentence fragments. Also, it's written in a language you can't read. Well, that's helpful. And what should we do? Let's talk to Miss Olivia. Well, who are you? Oh, okay. That and subdue the occasional vagrant who thinks they don't have to go through customs. Well, this, unlike most old RPGs, you can't just hop on a ship and go wherever you want to. They actually have customs, which is pretty cool. If I can get you past or put in a good word, you have to wait. Like everybody else. Souvenir. Oh yeah, if you click the there's the movement keys will also go move the dialogue, so I kept doing that for a moment. Also, one thing to note here is this is a height difference. There is a height difference here, and so long as I think it's vertically from the top of the screen down, that technically counts as elevation. Towards the bottom of the screen is usually lower. Sometimes there's an exception. It's usually dependent on how the terrain looks. But here there is a height difference, and you can jump down this. There literally is there's literally nothing to this. Like that doesn't mean anything. It's just I'm just showing you guys what you can do with it later. So let's talk to these people online because they are obviously in our way. We have to go through customs. Well, yeah. Oh dear. So just like any airport, they tend to take a while. That is a language we cannot read. I don't know what you said, sir, but good day. Well, okay. Hello to you too. Well, see, at least he has a reason for being a jerk. The other guy's just a douchebag. This one doesn't say anything. Let me tell you, this is actually going way faster than usual. I might get home before dark for once. Oh, cool. And that is another language we cannot read. Alas. Also, this little kid right here is the only little kid in the game that I have noticed. There might be more, but he is the only one that I have seen. So, just something interesting. I would love, just something interesting I wanted to point out. She too far away, or this person too far away. Yes, they are. Let me switch the. Also, the little keys right here. It obviously is going to explain what is what, but the lantern is set to the Z key, and the. Basically, this is your the Z key is your right hand, the X key is your left hand. Let's switch this over to my left hand because I have a tendency to, whenever I use a weapon, to accidentally use a lantern instead. Now, there's something you can actually do earlier if you're paying attention. You can check your character's stat pages. But you won't have that. You have a little bit of experience, not a whole lot to start out with, and you can do a few things with it. First things first, I'm going to go ahead and learn Smash here. Smash is an attack that does 40% extra damage, but has basically 2/3 less, or attacks with 2/3 accuracy. If you're going to hit with 100%, it's about 66% at that point. Not very accurate, but very powerful. Let's see. Switch to the other character. Flow here. Let's, I'm going to go ahead and learn Throw Stone. I want to learn First Aid, but we're not going to need that right away, I don't think. Plus, throwing rocks at people is fun. Squires would be proud. It's actually a useful skill. Let's just go ahead and learn Focus Energy here for both of these gentlemen. For Mr. Koro and Mr. Balthazar. Yeah, Mr. Koro and Mr. Balthazar. Okay, so we have some abilities. We're not completely useless. And, wait, what is this? Can we look at it? What? No, just question mark, question mark, question mark. Well, rule of thumb, when something strange and unusual pops up, you have to touch it. Even if you shouldn't, you have to touch it. So, let's go ahead and touch it. Actually, wait, let me do one more thing. Can I look at the mast? Nope, can't look at the mast. Well, here goes. Let's see what happens. What? Music just faded out, and oh god, what? Well, we just got harbor naps? I'm not sure. Yeah, it's only showing him as disoriented. And apparently we're being attacked now. That's bizarre. Okay. I have, but no. I already know how to play the game. Yeah, no. Fine. Wow, her attitude is kind of eh. Anyway, yeah, if you click on a weapon, you can pick it up and give it to other people. You don't even have to be that far away either. I'm just going to move him right here and pick this up. Boop, hammer. So, this is combat. It's very large scale. The turn order is up here in the left corner. What? Oh, it's my turn. The turn order is up there in the left corner. Basically, your character's speed will be down here, as I did show before, I believe. The nailing characters will have extra 1, and Scurio characters will have -2. So basically, it acts like a clock tick. Every single turn counts as 1, and it will just count it that way. So it's very, very easy to plan around things that take turns. Unlike, say, FFT, where the CT could get a little confusing. Now, I can't actually do much because I don't have any weapons, but since I was smart enough to pay attention this time, I can cast spells. The first spell, Focus Energy, is non-elemental. It is one of the weakest spells in the game. However, it has a double function. You can heal allies with it, or you can hurt enemies. It's basically just a very low damage poke or heal before you get sages, which is pretty useful. I didn't move far enough to hit him, so if you hit escape, you can actually go back and redo your character's movement. Not their action, just their movement. So let's Chunker Rocket this guy. I think that did more damage than just hitting him with a sword would. 11 damage. She'll probably kill him in her next hit. The fire also has its own lifespan. It will fires that you set or fire effects like this also have their own lifespan. They will last forever. It is my turn. I'm not paying attention. That's going to happen a lot. Oh, 11 damage. He's dead. And he hit me with an axe, which actually kind of hurt. Now, the difference between weapons is actually easy to see. It's just free energy here. That'll do more damage than a Sensor Scholars. That'll do more damage than the his hammer will. And he's dead. And I won't be able to make it over there, but I'm going to try anyway. Let me help you! And she just kills him with an ability anyway. And then moves further away. Which is kind of strange, but whatever. Oh, she went to examine this guy. I don't know why she didn't come over here. I guess she's just programmed to examine the closest one. Let's see. Let's take our loot. We have loot. They didn't have that much, but we have loot anyway. This guy has a spear. Let's go ahead and take that and just toss it in somebody's inventory. I'll show you guys something in just a moment. Let's take this shield and this axe. I said and this axe. I didn't click on it. Take your sword. And your money, which isn't very much. This guy has an iron dagger and some armor. Let's get this armor to Zeal here. Yay, 1 defense. This game does not deal with a whole lot of stat points, so every single one helps actually. So the stat system overall is very simple and easy to learn. I'll do my best to explain it as time goes, but we shall see. Now, these guys killed everybody. They even killed the guy with bottles. It looks like he's laying in a pile of crushed bottles there. That's kind of, I picked him up. That's kind of sad. They killed the Rasman guy there. They even killed the dockhand. Jeez, these guys are jerks. Who are they? Well, let's talk to her first. Well, considering how easily you own the other guy and how you didn't take any damage, really, you did kind of well on your own. You probably would have. Well, they apparently killed everybody. Flash of light, crashing sounds, brigands charged in. We're on the docks, but where's the rest of the city? And why is the sky dark? How am I supposed to know? Well, apparently you don't either. Can't feel the wind either. This is like nothing I've heard of. How would you have been able to hear of this? Let's just focus on surviving. You should check the bodies for useful items, like armor and weapons. Talk to me when you finish. Well, I kind of got done doing that already, so... Find anything useful? Yeah, I did, in fact. You may be able to make yourself stronger. You gained EXP from that... You gained experience from that fight, right? Well, yeah, but I already used some, so I should be fine. Click the character button to look at your class and abilities, or you can just click C. It's a hotkey. I'm going to explain a lot of awkward things that people should know about, but alas, you should spend XP on abilities if you can, or if you know what you're doing, just hold off and wait. I clicked the wrong one. There we go. Now I can learn Brave. I'm going to go ahead and do that, or I'll wait for Charge, because Charge, the same move that she did, will jump your melee character forward by 1 panel, increasing every time you level it up. Like, so to speak, I could level this up, and it would add 10 damage. It increases Charge's range. Now, that's pretty useful, especially if the melee character can't actually quite get in close. It helps them get right up in there, get up in somebody's face, and deal some pretty nasty damage. So, that's what we're going to go with. Now, let's see here. Oh yeah, clicking on these down here will switch the characters, and if you click and hold them, you can drag them out and put them in the order that you want. Let's see, let's learn First Aid. Yay, healing. Also passives. Stuff like Quick Hands. Can move and equip items without using up your combat action. Yeah, if you were to go in your character's inventory, that's free, but if you were to move something around, that would cost your turn. So you'd have to wait until your next one. Alertness, you start with extra 6, or you start with 6 less clock ticks, which is pretty good. Very good, actually. And critical mobility, when you have 15% health or less, you gain 2 plus movement and can run away. Similar to, I believe it's called Flee in Final Fantasy Tactics. Thieves have it. When they go into critical, they can run away further. I think they gain 3 movement, though, so it's a little different. And then stats here. Every 200 experience points, you will gain a single point to your stats. What this does is it lets you... your stats will either increase your health, increase your mana for the respective classes, or you can raise your skill in certain weapons, like this. It boosts the power and accuracy with daggers, power and accuracy with spears, power and accuracy with whips and flails, bows, crossbows. You get the idea. This is a lot more important than you think, and trust me, you're going to want to save these just so you can increase your weapon skills and whatnot. It doesn't help you learn anything new. It just makes them do more damage, and well, more damage is always good. That's what you want. Just make sure you don't neglect health or mana or anything for that. You do want to have a healthy balance if you're not planning to grind. That is. Now we're gonna give this guy prayer. Prayer, very good skill. Restores mana in that small panel like this. Let me go ahead and use that there. Restored mana, yay. I don't really have anything I don't really have any spells at the moment that it would really be mana intensive. But hey, it never hurts to have the ability. I'm not going to give it to him though. I want to save up for at least like Firebolt, Frost, or Gust or whatever. We'll see. Also, passives of Scholars are Teacher. At the start of your turn, adjacent allies gain 3 mana. That's not you, just adjacent allies. Elemental statuses affect you for twice as long, both positive and negative. I haven't really found a use for this, but if you do, feel free to go for it. Meditative, when you end your turn without acting, you gain 2 magic defense until your next turn. That's still pretty good. Sometimes you're not going to be able to reach the enemy on the first time. You just charge head forward, or you basically just charge in, and sometimes this can help you. I believe there's another, there's a defensive version of this as well, and so on and so forth. Well, you'll see when it comes around to that. You can also increase your skill with certain magic types: fire, ice, lightning, wind, life, and a currently unseen one known as ruin. I'll occasionally call this void, so pay attention to that. I do mean the exact same thing. And let's just switch back to Mr. Zeal here and get on our way. She's going to stay here. She doesn't want to fight anybody. She says they went on this boat, which got impaled. And... wait, can we go in this door? No, it is locked. I don't even think we can examine these papers on the wall either. Nope, we can't. Can we examine the locked door? No, we can't. Is there anything? What's this building right here? Looks like it has a smudge, and it looks like it got cracked whenever it either got ripped away, or that might have been there before, I'm not sure. Either way, we can't do anything about that right now. But we do have tons of weapons. Now, let's actually take a look at these weapons and see if it says anything. Iron swords. Swords are evenly balanced in power and accuracy. They can even cut through ropes, vines, etc. They have no special properties because they are the jack of all trades. Swords are always a handy choice to go with. Can't go wrong with swords. You actually get the sword crafting kit fairly early on, so it's easy just to stick with these things. Let's look at daggers. Daggers, extremely accurate but weak. They're deadly in the right hands. They have 10 plus accuracy and they're more accurate per dagger skill. That's pretty good. Problem is they're 3 attack where this one has 5, and yeah. Axes have a little bit less accuracy, but usually have a few more, little bit more power than swords do, and can cut trees and break wood. Like these tables over here, you can turn it into more wood planks. So they're just a little bit less accurate, and looking at hammers, they're even more inaccurate. Negative 10 accuracy. Hammers bypass armor and hit hard if they hit at all. Can smash rocks and obstacles. But they ignore half of enemies. They ignore half the enemy's armor, which is pretty good. Let's take a look at spears here, and I think that's the only weapon type I have. There's also the rope, but I already looked at that, and that's not a weapon. Range of 2, but a little bit weaker. Useful. There should be a tree there. I think it got burned down. So let's go ahead, and if I was paying attention, I would have done this a moment ago. Switch, just any random character can... Any character can use any weapon, technically. But certain classes are more proficient with weapons and whatnot. So let's just get ourselves some extra wood here, just to start out with some wood, because it's useful. You can stack it, and that is 4 stacks of wood. 4 wood planks. Yay. Let's go take the rest of this wood here. I don't think I can destroy wooden I don't think I can destroy the pallets, unfortunately. But it's not that big of a deal. These barrels got overturned. There's nothing in them. Can't do anything with barrels, unfortunately. Now, can I smack this? Yes, you can. Yay. She doesn't have anything to sit on now, but yay. Poor guy, he's dead. He doesn't have anything on him. And Mr. Iota up there only had a knife, if I recall correctly. What is this? Says it's a spire. Let's take a look. A Gothic spire of stone, much like one that might be found on a cathedral. What is it doing here? Well, considering how it looks like we got teleported somewhere, we probably teleported on top of a building of sorts. Also, we found a bow, and we find a crossbow. I will go ahead and look at these real quick. Bows are weak and they require both hands, but are extremely versatile and can arc over obstacles. The weaker bows have the less range, and then as you go, certain ones will increase the range by like 1 or 2, and then I think it ends up as being you're being able to attack from 7 to 8 panels away. And then crossbows here, extremely strong weapon that can be used one-handed, but must be reloaded every shot. Yes. Crossbows do not automatically reload. You have to reload them, but they serve as the game's guns, and they're just tremendously powerful. You just have to stop your offense to reload, to shoot again. I prefer bows overall because they're a lot they're a lot more versatile. So, yeah, that is that, and neat. Is there anything in this? Nope. Okay, let's go down. There is looks like a chain. Wonder, can we examine that? Let's take a look. Nope, just the spire. And chain. There's also puddles of water here. Let's see if we can look at the puddle. Nope, can't look at the puddle. Puddles have an effect, but I won't explain it yet right away, largely because I have no way to take advantage of it. I like how the ground far below us moves in the opposite direction that we're moving. That reminds me a lot of A Link to the Past, actually. I like that railing. Does the railing have an examination? No, it does not. It does look like we're in a cathedral. There's a bunch of rails and slightly creepy music and shattered windows and Cathedral of Elements. Okay, that's interesting. There's an unlit brazier. We can't do anything about that right now, though, unfortunately. Now, if you have a character with a fire spell or fire starter, or say something that just has a fire effect, you can light these. There's a spilled one. There's another spilled one. Just double-click on a spilled brazier to upturn it or to right it. And hey, there's guys. Looks like we're gonna have to get into a fight, I guess. Well, if it's anything like what they just did, they want to fight us. So let's just actually let's approach with. Oh. Wow, that's unfortunate. I don't see why they noticed me so far away, but now, actually quite far away. It's going to take a few turns to reach him. move forward a little bit. She's going to move forward to the max. I don't think she can reach me this turn, though. And let's move up here. Just to show you how far the bow can reach. 5 panels, not that far. 3 to 5 panels, not that far. I'm going to sit here. Yeah, she can't quite reach me yet. There's nothing wrong with that. I can't hit her with him. I will start by casting some focus. Focus energy, 9 damage. Not a whole lot, but not bad either. So let me attack from the as far as I can. 6 damage. Weak, but awesome still. It's ranged. What can you expect? Yes, like any tactics game, if you attack from the sides or the back, you get more accuracy, but I can't reach her sides or back, so I can either go for 12 damage, try for 12 damage at 63% accuracy, or I could try for 9 at 95. Since this battle is relatively easy, let's just not risk missing. 9 damage. Not a lot. Ah, she caught us on fire. She has a special class we will not be able to see for a while called a Spell Archon. Unfortunately, I cannot explain it. Oh, also, if you mouse over the stuff, it shows you their stats and whatnot. She's not very powerful, even though she has a lot of health at the time. It describes a little bit there. I'll explain that if it happens. And she also has, looking at these, will show you the enemy's support skills. Hers specifically is something you'll never get. Uses gate magic to make an emergency getaway. That means they'll just run away when they die. They won't actually die. It can get kind of an, just pay attention. There's very few enemies that have that, but pay attention to the ones that do. Because you can't get anything from them. Some focus magic, and have a arrow to the head. You survive somehow. She survived with 1 HP. She's out of practice. Well, why couldn't you have just told us that before? Why did you have to attempt to fight? Jeez. As for me, teleport. And that's what I was explaining. Find it kind of odd that this little bit of the... I am still on fire. Well, hang on. Let's heal him up. Yeah, focus energy is better for healing, but never hurts to have extra just in case. Oh, there's a book. Now, the way to look at books, you can pick them up and put them in your inventory, but in order to actually read them, you have to look at them. In reality, magic is not a thing or substance, but is instead an action or a conversion. 3 substances, matter, energy, and essence, make up the world. Magic is using strength of mind to convert essence into energy, which is actually really cool. I always loved the magic systems that described how it used magic. Maybe not so much scientifically, but at least said it's more than just hocus pocus, something happens. Though creating matter is infeasible, there are tricks a clever mage can employ, such as causing condensation by changing temperature. Yes. But yes, again, I've always loved how... Oh, there's a hatchet on the ground. Some of these have unique descriptions. This hatchet here. A hatchet is a simple, sharpened blade for cutting wood. It is very versatile and easily fills any role that a common knife would. It also counts as an axe. So if you have an axe, you don't really need to pick up a hatchet because it's a lot weaker. Hatchet's just there in case you don't have an axe but don't really want to carry around an axe. I don't see why you wouldn't, but hey, those are common. Now then, this is a very strange area. It looks kind of alien, so let's take a look at these enemies before we move in close. These guys are called Groaches. This unusual creature hails from the realm of Graven. I guess that's what this place is called. They're often domesticated. It looks kind of creepy. And kept as pets or guard animals. Well. Devour almost anything. Huh. Okay, well, they're here, so let's just fight them, I guess. Groaches are... Well, Groaches will notice you from far away, so... And the instant I got close, there's like, hey, there's somebody. Attack, 10 damage. Can't move quite close enough yet, so let's just walk up. Same thing. Bow shot, 7 damage. That's a little bit more than what we were doing to her. I guess they have less defense. Yeah, they do. They have 1 defense. 1 physical defense, that is. They do have 4 strength, though, so they're going to hit a little hard. Try not to let one of your characters get swarmed, or you will you will lose. A character will die to these things. Yeah, if like I'm gonna attack with him here. I actually managed to hit that. I'm not sure how. And then I'm gonna back up with him so he doesn't get hit twice. Let's throw a stone. No, we're not gonna throw a stone. We're gonna shoot over this guy's head. Hit the Groach. Next attack will kill it. So he's forced to go to the side. Also, if you move without acting or act and then don't move, it gives you a bit of a speed bonus. It takes away clock ticks. So I'm not actually. Oh yeah, hit escape. I'm not actually sure if they have an official name, but that's just what I'm gonna call them. Let's move ahead, and you're dead. Move up. Yes, lanterns do have a combat function. They don't do any damage, but they will catch enemies on fire. That can be handy early on because it acts like a poison effect, and will I think it ignores defense and magic defense. It just deals constant damage over time. So if you run up against an enemy that's kind of tough or you can't defeat over time, like what Celia did there, you can catch them on fire and just burn them to death over time. Okay, let's just focus energy these guys to death. They didn't give us a whole lot of experience, but we unlocked Rogue. I didn't explain how you unlock classes. You unlock classes by gaining enough. It's the same way as Final Fantasy Tactics. You either get enough. Then you gained enough of a high enough level in certain classes. For this, you just gain experience. Gaining 300 experience as a warrior will unlock Brawler. Getting 450 as a warrior will unlock Guardian. This one, the Blade, will gaining 600 experience for warriors. Used to be Guardians. Gaining 600 experience for warriors and 250 for rogues will unlock blades. Blades are really good. I'll show you these guys. I'll show you all these guys later when I get around to them. Yeah. Let's learn abilities if we can. We wanted to learn shards. Let's do that. Let's go to her. Flo. I am very forgetful. I will always forget the names of characters. Let's go ahead and learn Trip Up here. What Trip Up does is it obviously trips up an enemy. Trip an enemy with your weapon for 75% damage and inflict -2 movement for a turn. When used on a certain class, can basically force them to only move one panel. Not the best skill out there, but it's still pretty nice. Also, if you want to know exactly what types of weapons that a class will improve, just mouse over them. Mouse over the ones you've already unlocked, and it will tell you. For the record, rogues are really good at using knives. Rogues are pretty nasty overall. Let's take a look. Rogues have poison tip. Rogues have gouge. This inflicts poison with an attack. Only half damage, but inflicts poison. Inflicts blindness. Yeah, these guys are going to be kind of annoying with both of these, especially the ones that inflict blindness on you. Mug. Attack, steal a gold, and cause the enemy to drop one other unequipped items. Lowers morale for 100 clock ticks if successful. Now, what morale will do is you can have. There are 5 morale stages. There's neutral, like everybody usually is in a constant state. There's low morale, which lowers your stats a little bit, and then there's horrible morale. I'm just giving them names out of nowhere. That's not the official name. I'm just calling it so it makes sense. Then there's horrible morale, which it's an even further stat. It's an even lower stat decrease. Then there's good morale and great morale, which I'm just going to refer to them as that, which is a stat buff, so to speak. Yeah, that's pretty useful to pay attention to that. They have distraction, which can turn an enemy around and cancel their spell casting. That's really good. I think any type of attack that turns an enemy around will cancel spell casting, but I'm not entirely positive. I haven't tested that. There's dash. Quickly run in a straight line instead of acting. It's pretty good, especially if you're far away. You want to get close quickly. Hide. Become invisible to your next turn. You can't get any stealth bonuses, unfortunately. Actually, getting a stealth bonus just increases your damage and accuracy lightly. It's not like an actual rogue assassin type thing. Although, which one was it? They do have backstabber, which deals 15% more damage when attacking an enemy from behind with a weapon. Doesn't specify what kind of weapon, just says a weapon. Auto hide becomes invisible at the start of turn, so for one turn. Causing... Oh, it's just an accuracy bonus, okay. It'll make enemies ignore you. Swiftness, reduce the time to act by 1. Oh, so it's just got time to act. Time to act clock tick then. And stealth sense. When you press highlight all, which I believe is alt, left alt, you can see the vision range of nearby enemies. Meaning, you know that if you get this close, you'll get into a fight. That's basically what it is. If you get this close, you'll get into a fight. Can be handy if you're trying to avoid fights. And then their last ability is set trap, which toss out a hidden man trap. The times that I use this, the enemies seem to know it was there, so I don't exactly know how hidden this really is. That damages and immobilizes targets for 70 clock ticks. Trap breaks when it catches a target. He probably fixed that, but in the times that I used it, didn't seem to work. So let's just go ahead, because oh wait, we didn't learn abilities for everybody, just 2 characters. Let's fix that, shall we? He still can't learn much, or Koro still can't learn much here, but let's go ahead and do study. What study does is it basically just reveal a creature's current elemental resistances and weaknesses. This can be helpful, but you're only really going to use it once or twice if you absolutely have to, because by then you should remember. Now let's learn our first actual spell. Fire is just a single fireball to a single target. Has a small chance to catch him on fire, I think, and otherwise it just acts as a direct line of sight type of spell. Bolt damages all enemies in a straight line and passes through, but you're limited to only being able to shoot straight in the 4 directions, up, left, down, right. Frost is it has a little bit of a charge time because it is an AoE. In a small area, little 5-panel area, Frost is pretty good for that. And then Gust is a cone in front of you that does a little bit less damage than the rest, but pushes enemies away. And does it costs a little bit more mana because it has the greatest area of effect, but it's still pretty useful. Now what I'm going to go ahead and go with is Flame, because Flame's pretty versatile here. And plus, because everybody loves shooting fireballs at enemies. So, with that being done, we learn things. Learning stuff is good. This place still looks creepy. There are more Groaches down here. Let's fight these Groaches. So let me take a look around and see if there's anything else that I can actually look at. No, I cannot look at the rock. Bubble? Air caught in the living landscape of the realm of Graven. Wait, living landscape? What? Surprisingly durable. A pickaxe or hammer is required to break it. Well, you might as well carry a hammer on you then. What's this? Debris? Nope, can't look at that. Ah! Okay. You noticed me. Your characters will the lead character will still have a little bit of momentum whenever they notice you, so they might step forward to get a little bit like what happened here. I don't know if that's intentional or if it's just a little bit of a I don't want to say a bug, but a flaw. But alas, it's just handy. It's just handy to keep a note of. Let's attack this guy here. 10 damage, always good. If I use fire here. Fire is going to be the spell that runs your MP low. With just with 5 simple uses, he will have no, or 4 simple uses, he will have no MP left. Let's go ahead and just restore the stuff that he used because he can't reach the enemy to shoot them. And because I moved too close, there we go. They will approach, and I think they can actually reach me. Yes, they can. 9 damage. That is painful. Groaches hit pretty hard, but they don't have a whole lot of health, so you can kill them pretty easily, actually. Let's cast fire on this guy. He is dead. So he'll flow up with a focus, and let's move flow over here. Can I shoot him? Yes, I can. He's not far enough away. Actually, I will show you guys. Trip up does less damage, 75%, I believe. But since bows don't do that much damage anyway, there's not too much of a notable difference, I don't think. Yeah, 7 and then lowered to 5. But it will only decrease its movement by 2, forcing it to take forever to get up close to me. Yeah, it can only move 1 panel. That's really good. Smash. Will it hit? Yes, it does. And I would say I'm going to clunk it in the head to kill it, but we're just going to do a fire finish. Fireball. I win. Victory. He unlocked Brawler, and the namesake character Zeal does love to use swords, but every single playthrough I've done has been a blade at this point, who used edged weapons. I actually want to use a Brawler and a Breaker this time through. Brawlers and Breakers use blunt weapons. Brawlers specifically are really skilled at unarmed combat. So let's go ahead and... Is there anything I can learn or would want to learn? Well, oh yes, I forgot to show the passives of the warrior. They have counter. Attack anyone who hits you with a melee weapon. This would be useful to stay as a warrior to learn, but... Alas, we're going to wait for a little bit. Valiant. Do 15% more damage when attacking an enemy from the front. It says with a weapon, but I'm pretty sure if you punch somebody, it does more damage too. And combat ready. Start combat with a morale boost for 80 clock ticks. That's... All these are good. Counter and Valiant have the same EXP cost, and yeah, can't learn anything right now, so let's just go ahead and switch them to a Brawler. Brawlers here. Pummel. Punch an enemy 3 times at half damage and half accuracy. Well, that doesn't sound that great, especially because you can miss all of your attacks, and then that's kind of useless. Well, every time you level up Pummel, it increases the number of punches by 1, and since I think you can level it up 3 times, you can effectively punch 6 times. For just the low cost of 1 mana. It's pretty good. I think it's called MP here. Yeah, it's called MP, but it looks like the little stars in Terraria, so I just refer to it as mana. Same difference, though, really. Disorient, deal 75% damage and turn the enemy around. I haven't tested to see whether or not if this interrupts spellcasting. It probably does, but who knows. Knockout, puts an opponent to sleep for 80 clock ticks. Only works if the opponent has less than half health. I don't know if this works on bosses, and if it does, that'd be amusing. Knockout's pretty good, especially if you know this guy can't finish off an enemy, but you don't want the enemy to go or get their turn. Just knock him out. Hurricane Click, leap forward and deliver a wild spinning blow to all around you. Basically, they'll just jump forward 1 panel and hit in the 3 in the direction that they did not jump from. Basically, should he jump forward, he would hit here, here, and here, but he would not hit behind him. Hurricane Kick's pretty good. I think it increases the range you can jump if you level it up. I'm not sure. Revenge, deal up to 90% extra damage based on how low your current HP is. I'm not sure what gauges that, really. I think it's by, like, if you're at 90% health, I think it deals 10% extra damage. And so on and so forth. So say you're at 50, I think it would deal 50%. I'm not sure. Mr. Sean would have to tell me, and I don't know if he I think he'd prefer me to figure out for myself. Hurl weapon, throw your weapon. Damage and range are affected by the weapon's weight and power. I don't know about weight, but yeah. If it lands at the target's feet and can be picked up afterwards. Well, this thing can be good enough to start a weapon with if you're not sure you'll reach the enemy immediately. You can just chunk your weapon at him. Like, that's what this does. You give him a strong weapon only for the sole purpose of throwing it. And then getting in close and punching the crap out of him. Grin reduce your evasion to 0, but double your power for the next turn. This is pretty good. Passive here, counter throw. Just if you have a weapon in your hand, if somebody shoots you with a bow or throws something at you, you throw it back. You can't throw ranged weapons though. Thousand Fists is a skill that I want to get. What does it do? If your offhand is a fist weapon, make an extra punch with it when attacking. That is handy. That is very handy. Oh, haha, pun. That is very handy, though. And Reckless, start your first turn of combat with 3 extra strength, but less defense. Should I do that here, I would have no defense. So, yeah, that can... Again, it's Reckless, but then again, you do a lot of damage. So, it's a trade-off. Also, certain classes can even increase the movement, although increasing movement costs a lot of skill points, as you see here. I believe the first one is 7, and beyond that, I think it's 20. It goes up a lot. But yes, that is Brawler, and Brawlers are pretty good. Brawlers are really good, actually, and I think if I were to start as a Breaker, who are right here, 40 Brawler, 400 Brawler, 300 Guardian. I'd have to go back to a Warrior to learn Guardian. I'm going to keep... Actually, I'm going to switch back real quick. I'm just going to stick as a Warrior for a little bit. Maybe learn Counter, or Valiant. Valiant makes you do more damage, can't argue with that. But then again, so does Counter. I don't know. We'll see. We'll learn one of the two. Also, while you start out with them, Warriors might not seem like the viable choice later on. They are because they get more of they get more initial. The class gets more points to strength than any of the other ones do. You have 2 plus extra strength. All the other ones are only going to have 1. So Warriors is still pretty versatile. Warriors are still pretty viable in game if you're going for max damage with attacking. So yeah, let's just go on and move on ahead. Let's get out of this slightly... I wouldn't say that area's an eyesore. There's just not a whole lot of color. There's just not a whole lot of color variance there. And oh, there's somebody here. Let's just overturn this brazier, and I will show off lighting this, lighting the brazier. Woohoo! Brazier is lit. We now have light. Not like we really needed it, but we now have light. And they are approaching us. And I have absolutely no idea what you just said. Sorry, I can't understand you. Oh, okay. I went a little too fast there. Even though it was just I apologize. I thought only the red ones spoke this tongue. You were not with them, yes? Very quirky way of speaking. No. They tried to kill me. Why would they? They are a dangerous group. I suspect they are mercenaries. Many of them just passed through here. But something. Don't know what she said. Where are my manners? My name is Morin. I am a humble trader. And here I go trying to voice act anyway. But, alas. Please forgive me if I garble something in your language. It is not often I get to speak it. Could you tell me, what is your tale? How were you stolen? Stolen? What? I only know what I have, pieced together. You notice terrain around us is very messy, strange, and different? It is also... bleh, can't read that. It is different parts of the world stolen from their original locations. How is that possible? I am unsure. When I learn more, I will tell you. In exchange for payment. Of course. Merchant. The knowledge I just shared, you can repay me by telling me your story, yes? Then we are even and can help each other further? Well, sure, why not? I see, this matches with my knowledge. I since promising you as a source and customer. I would like to give you this. Okay. A magical gem that matches one I carry. Use it when you are stuck or lost, and mine will glow. I can then find you and lead you somewhere safer. Of course, finding takes time. I cannot rescue you from combat or immediate danger, and once used, it cannot be used again for a very long time. Please save it for when you are stuck or lost. Hopefully you will not have to use it. Well, thanks. Well, I have very likely talked your ears off. Don't let me hold you up. There is a safe place to the south. Very friendly people there. They do not know your language, but they will welcome you. And if you ever wish to trade, I have a little spot just west of here. Farewell. Now, I don't even know what kind of accent I was trying to pull there, but I was just trying to do something that sounded a little foreign. Anyway, yes, she sets up Miss Morin sets up a shop right over here. There's more wood if you want to take that. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. Kleptomaniacs. And she'll also explain. She acts as a little bit of a tutorial. She explained things to you that might not be obvious. And oh, we can examine the table too. I forgot about that. External use is pretty intuitive. Well, yeah, it's a flat surface, elevated flat surface. Look at the book, Magic Essentials Volume 2. If you're paying attention, the fact that Volume 2 is here should tell you that you missed Volume 1 somewhere. Magic Manifest in 6 elements. Fire generates heat. Ice, remove heat. Lightning is obviously electricity. Wind or force is movement. Life preservation restores the original state. These are just very basic ones. And then ruin, degrades state. Ruin is viewed as perversion in some circles. Its inclusion is for completeness, not to endorse or condemn any religious views. Ruin is usually also associated with necromancy, so you get those fun types of things here. Basically, fire spells. The ones that are really described well is, I believe, life is described as restoring your essence remembers a body's natural state. Casting life magic simply restores it to that point, which is better than using it as like a holy type of stuff. But I'm pretty sure there's religions that do that in end game or whatever. Wind force just shoves people around. Wind's pretty good for that. I don't know if you can shove people off cliffs or whatever, but at least being able to push them away can be pretty good. Lightning technically does the most damage out of all the spell types, but there's not really a whole lot that I think there's certain enemies that are resistant. I can't recall correctly. Ice can chill enemies, I think. Being chilled reduces your movement. And fire catches you in fire, which just damages you over time. But doesn't really tend to happen that often. So let's talk to Morin. Anything you need? I have absolutely no idea what that is, but I think it's a greeting. Take a look. Lantern. Spices. Yeah, well, lanterns are all over the place, so you shouldn't ever have to buy one unless you just absolutely want to. Spices. Everything in this bag will restock. Like, if you buy it, you exit her store, you come back in, she'll have it again. What spices do is they inflict a status called Itchy. I don't know what that means. I don't know what Itchy does, unfortunately. I think it reduces the, like, it either makes casting time take longer, or it reduces, evasion. I don't know. Darts, when used to attack item, can be used even when your hands are full. You just throw a dart at enemies and deal some extra damage. That's pretty self-explanatory. Bandages, useful in a pinch to heal minor injuries. These are basically potions. Revive Dust is basically Phoenix Down. They just bring people back to life. Kind of expensive, but you're gonna find these on enemies every now and again. And then beer, bottle of beer, restores energy if drank in moderation. I don't really know if there's any bad effect for drinking too much, but I've always found that using a spell or some such is a lot more. I don't know. If you're going for a no magic run, it can be useful. But if you have at least one sage or scholar with a good enough focus energy, then you should never have to use items beyond Revive Dust every now and again. Well, it could be kind of useful if they get separated and you want to heal your character and the guy's too far away. Now these two. These are boxes. They have pretty interesting things. Punch Dagger, Steel-Bladed Knuckle Weapon. This is a unique weapon that counts as both a punching weapon and as a sword, so you can use you can use the abilities of both with one thing. It's going to be pretty handy if you're trying to play as a blade and a brawler at the same time. Grapple Whip. Chain Whip with a hook at the end. Pulls target. Yeah, but it's only linear, I believe. I don't really recall. Javelin, light spear designed for throwing, must be recovered after being thrown. Throwing axe, same thing. Although it reads as a spear. I don't know if that goes off a spear skill or axe skill. Parrying dagger, little bit stronger dagger, has some good evasion. Overcoat, thick coat that prevents you from getting wet. Being wet is like being inflicted with oil back in Final Fantasy Tactics. However, it makes electricity do absurd amounts of damage to you, so be very careful about that. This just prevents you from getting wet. There's not a whole lot of things that will really cause a status, though. Scarf. Cozy scarf that makes you immune to getting chilled. Again, unless you're hit with an ice attack, there's not really a whole lot that will chill you. Vambraces. This is just an accessory that raises your defense. Some crafting kits. Place this on top of an anvil, then combine with raw material to create a flail. Or create knuckles. Fairly self-explanatory. Crafting isn't that complex, although certain combinations may or may not work with certain things. I implore you all to figure out exactly what works with what, all on your own. It's not too hard to figure out. Most metal is going to work with everything. Certain other things you can get from monsters may or may not have weapon counterparts, but you'll see. Nature of the Void, it's a book, and Necromancy Revealed is also a book. You have to buy these to look at them, because you can't look at them while you're in the store. But they're a little expensive, and I don't want to know the lore that much at the moment. The video's gone on for about an hour at this point. Triggers. Triggers are special. What triggers do is they are basically a weapon. It's basically a free spell. One range, of course. You have to use it while it's right in front of you, but it will also boost the skill of that element type by 1. Triggers are really handy to give to mages, of course. You have one of every type. She doesn't sell them, but they're also life, and there was also ruin triggers. Life triggers obviously heal, ruin triggers obviously do damage. And yeah, that's what those are. They're just basically magic weapons, so to speak. They don't do a whole lot of damage, but hey, you'll do a lot more damage with this in the hands of a mage than you would a sword. So, moss malt. You will find moss malt and volcano baked meat in various places throughout the world. I've found that moss malt's actually a lot more common. What it does is drinking it grants a permanent 1 extra mana point. Volcano baked meat will grant 2 health points. I get that makes sense why that's a lot less common. But yes, every time you drink one, you get a point of mana. Simple as that. You could save or actually, no, I don't think that don't really matter. She sells rope, steel bars, mithril chunk. Mithril is actually quite rare in this game. For the most part, you are only really going to be, unless you know where to look, you will only really be finding it from enemies, or not on enemies. You'll just melt down the equipment that they have, so you can get the mithril from it. Very few mithril is actually handed to you, and it's just the best. I think mithril makes the best stuff before you start getting into the really, really uncommon rare things. Bombs here. Bomb, a dangerous explosive. Light and toss, they move far away. When you throw a bomb, it takes a few turns to explode, but they are very powerful. Enemies will very likely move out of its radius, so either toss it before you get into a fight, or, yeah, that's honestly your best bet. Just throw it before you get into a fight. Just make sure you're not close enough or the enemies will spot you. Essence Stone, Brittle Crystal. It can improve the skills of the user. Basically, this gives your character 100 experience. For every one of these. There's quite a lot, so you shouldn't have to buy it. Slingshot, so weak it is often mistaken for a toy. Requires both hands to use. Slingshot's pretty weak, but does not have to be reloaded. It does crossbow damage, so if you wanted a cheap reloadable crossbow, then cheap reloadable crossbow, non-reloadable crossbow, here you go. And there's a bottle of oil, bottle of flammable oil. Same thing as oil in Final Fantasy Tactics, just makes fire do nasty damage. Alright. Let's go ahead and move on, and then I shall end the video. Actually, I'll end the video right down here. So thank you all for watching my Let's Play of Voidspire Tactics. I'll try not to have the videos go on this long, but at the same time, this game takes a while to play, so for those who don't want to watch an hour long of gameplay, do let me know, and I will try to shorten the videos to about 45 minutes to each. I think that's pretty 30 to 45 minutes. I think that's pretty fair. Of course, it'll mean I'll either have to make more videos or I'll have to play more on my own. Just let me know your own preferences, and I'll see what I can do from then. But thank you all for watching. This has been the first video of the Let's Play of Voidspire Tactics with me, Rex. I hope you all have a good day.